and चाहे वो हो भी जाए, like even if they put the factories in India, the problem is not, it's not just they're putting the factories in India, it's like who is it displacing? India is responsible for like 250 million tons of biomass, which is a lot in air pollution. How much of it is produced by just one singular person, like one singular family in one single corporation? 45 million tons of it is produced by the Ambanis. Anyone who says ki, oh, but they create so many jobs and all of that, the fact of the matter is they don't. They just laid off so many people from their offices. Like, owners of dogs will have noticed that if you provide them with food and water and shelter and affection, they will think that you're God. And how much they distract us, the middle class people, the people with knowledge, the people that want to gain more knowledge, forcing them into some subconscious scenario and then not letting them have the full information because they distract them so often, going from one problem to another problem. For example, book mein there was this one area when they talked about, when George Orwell talked about how yesterday only 20% of our economy was like lower and the next day 20% वापस बढ़ गया, and it's like people are celebrating that 20%, but in reality वही 20% कल गिरा था. So it's like that is kind of what is happening. Like, they're distracting. Kabhi the countries in a war with someone else and the ally with someone else, but in the other second they're like having a war with someone else and being allies with that same country they were at war with. So it's like similar to that in a way. And the truth about United Nations, as I wanted to expand on that, is that सही बता रही हूँ, it doesn't do much. It doesn't really do much. जितना भी ऊपर से वो दिखा दे कि oh my god, United Nations does so much, it does not. It really does not. It does not care about people like you and me dying. Does not care. Calls this an environmental problem, which it is. It is an environmental problem. But what if that environmental problem is deriving from something like a war or a genocide? तब अचानक से शांति जाती है ना. Like, that's entirely what's happening. And even with India as well, speaking so much for war, speaking so much for genocides, but then जब हुआ United Nations में committee बैठी, and what did they do? They abstained from voting. And do you know what they did in the Israel-Palestine issue? After they abstained from voting, they sent arms to Israel and food to Palestine. Yeah, they sent guns to kill the people. And we are already aware of the Geneva Convention. हम सब जानते हैं कि how Israel violates the Geneva Convention, because it does violate the Geneva Convention. Or I know a lot of people that claim here and say कि Geneva Convention doesn't do much. It is a convention. It is meant to do much. I don't understand that argument at all. That is a very layman argument, and it does not work. Because what are you trying to say? Then are you trying to lay back and say that all policies are useless and anything that we make are useless and koi na koi to se violate karega hi na? So tired of people saying it's not that big of a deal, when it really is. It is a very big deal, and environment is a political issue. It has been a political issue and it will remain a political issue. You cannot distinguish environment and environmental problems from political problems, because it goes hand in hand. The same way how private corporations are creating farms and creating factories in underdeveloped countries to like take all of the deplenish all of the resources so that they can capitalize off of it. It is all of their tactic. It's all capitalism, and they do not care about whether you and I are going to be alive. Because guess what? AI. So many companies now have gone artificial intelligence. If I Google search right now, shit that's gonna come up, AI overview. I just want to know what people have written. I just want to read the websites, and it really bothers me, because at some point 2 साल पहले 3 साल पहले AI was not everywhere, but now AI is genuinely everywhere. हर जगह मैं गलती से बटन क्लिक कर देती हूँ, AI खुल जाता है, and it really bothers me because it's making all of us stupid. And I've heard so much about it's not even just making all of us stupid, it's making all of us dumb, and also ruining the environment. At this point, anything that we create and capitalize off of ruins the environment, and no one talks about it because it's not that big of a deal, because we're getting dumb. And it's also that the fact on the Geneva Convention, as we were, got a little distracted. These people have respiratory problems because of obviously the bombs and the missiles. They have respiratory problems. They cannot breathe. And pehle chalo theek hai, it was when it was getting bad pehle, it was not a generational problem, but now it's become a generational problem. Generations to come will have disabilities because of this genocide. And this is the same thing in Ukraine as well, by the way. It is horrible what's been going on in this world. And we are 89 seconds to midnight. Oh God. And do you know when things actually happen? When all of us get our eyes opened. Pehli baar. That's when it happens. And it has happened. It is proven that it has happened every single time. Bhai, India's independence, when everyone was together and everyone, no matter what religion, everyone was together. Tab hua tha na, we got our independence, right? And it's the same as I think with every kind of revolution. Until and unless we all don't stand up together, nothing is gonna happen. मैं 2 वीडियो डाल लूँ, मुझे चुप करा के वो बिठा देंगे. It will not work. And the people that don't agree with my views on this topic, I do want to know why, but also I have another question to ask you today. We are very privileged people. I am very privileged. I don't have to live in Gaza, and I don't have to live in Ukraine, and not in Sudan, not in countries that are like in Yemen. I don't have to live there, right? And I'm very privileged to make these videos. But if like Gaza and Gaza ka pani is poisoned, and if Pakistan गिर के डूब के मर जाता है, and if Bangladesh में खाना नहीं है, and if millions of Indians like you and I starve to death, right? You still like refuse to hold the perpetrators accountable, the people who are creating this problem, these rich billionaires who don't give a fuck about you while you're literally worshipping them as your god. If you can't hold them accountable, then what does humanity even mean for you? Like, that is a genuine question I want to ask you. What does any of this mean to you? If you like hearing you say that I don't agree with you, and you don't give me a valid reason, and your valid reason is only that yeah, it creates jobs. However, 2 saal mein AI is gonna take over the world. What if AI becomes sentient? It's gonna kill all of us. We're gonna die. And I'm afraid that's actually pretty much the plot line of I must scream but I have no mouth. Yeah, that is kind of all I wanted to cover. But this recording has marked 19 minutes, like 18 minutes already. And I could not even drink my coffee. So, oh, should I kill myself or have a cup of coffee? I will be making more of these rants. This was extremely unscripted. I just went along the way and I liked it. Okay, bye.